The rain was no longer just water. It was the sky weeping with him. He had lost his father. He had lost his name. All that remained was a hollow ache where love used to be. But before the storm, there was sunlight. There was a purr that rumbled like a gentle earthquake, a fortress of fur and warmth. There was Father. He taught me stillness. The world is loud, little Kyle, he'd say, but true power is found in the quiet. Listen not with your ears, but with your soul. He taught me courage, to leap across gaps that seemed impossible. Fear is just a shadow, he'd purr. You are the light that casts it. On rooftops, he spun tales of the great lions of the stars, our ancestors who valued honor above all else. I promised him I would make them proud. Then, the warmth began to fade. He started carrying the scent of the alley, of rust and desperation. The starlight in his eyes dimmed. A silence grew between us. It was a wall I couldn't climb, a chasm I couldn't leap. He was there, but he was gone. One night, a sliver of moon gave me the courage I needed. I would not lose him to the shadows. I would follow him into them. And there, under the sickly buzz of a neon sign, I saw it. He wasn't lost. He was bartering. He gave them the locket our mother left me. For a seat at their table, they laughed. A cruel, jagged sound. And my father, he laughed with them. That sound shattered my world. In that moment, Kyle died, and something else was born. Something cold, sharp, and patient. It had only one purpose. I didn't go back. Home was a memory. The future was a vow, whispered into the uncaring rain. I nearly starved until a new scent found me. Not of rot, but of strange herbs and ancient dust. She was blind in one eye, but saw everything. The wound in your heart screams, she rasped. Vengeance is the echo you wish to send back. But tell me, child, does an echo ever heal the source of the sound? Anger is a flood. It drowns everything, including you. First, you must build a vessel strong enough to contain it. The alley became my temple. The pain became my prayer. Now, quiet the flood, she commanded. We sat for days, listening to the city, learning to hear a single drop of rain in a thunderstorm. She showed me my reflection in a shard of glass. Look, the more you hate him, a prisoner of fear. A gang of rats cornered a lost sparrow. The old Kale would have ignored it. The vengeful Kale would have used the distraction. But a new voice whispered. And I moved. Not with rage, but with purpose. A silent wind, a precise strike. I didn't harm them. I scattered them. The sparrow flew free. She was waiting. She didn't speak. She just dipped her head. It felt more validating than any praise. I began my work. Not a frontal assault, but a whisper campaign. I returned stolen food to the hungry. I guided lost kittens home through secret paths. The alleyways began to talk. Of a ghost. A shadow that helped the helpless. A protector that came when hope was gone. My father's gang grew restless. Their power was built on fear, and the ghost was sowing seeds of hope. Fear cannot grow in hopeful soil. I saved a kitten from a collapsing structure. As I carried him out, he licked my cheek, and for the first time in years, the hollow ache lessened. My master found me by the water. Your vessel is strong, she said. Your mind is clear. But your heart still follows the map of revenge. Soon, you will reach its destination. You must choose what to do when you arrive. I found me. Or rather, he called for the ghost, and I answered. He stood in the place it all began. I know it's you. he snarled. I cast you into the darkness, and you thrived. I made you strong. No, I said, my voice as calm as the still water. You threw me into the fire. I learned to be the rain. Hay lunged, all fury and brute force. The me of old would have met him with equal rage. But now, I moved around his anger. I was the space between his claws, the air around his fury. I did not fight him. I let him fight himself. He tired, his rage turning to confusion, then to fear. He wasn't afraid of my strength. He was afraid of my peace. He stumbled and fell. He was at my mercy. The alley held its breath. The moment my entire life had led to was here. I looked at him, and I didn't see a monster. I saw a pathetic, broken cat who chose fear over love, and I felt nothing. The echo had faded. The locket was all I had of her, I said softly. And you gave it away, not for power, but because you were weak. I turned and walked away. Walking away was harder than any fight. And yet, with every step, the weight I had carried for so long began to lift. I wasn't just walking away from him. I was walking towards myself. I found the old garden from my kittenhood. It was overgrown and forgotten, a perfect place to plant something new. I didn't rebuild a fortress. I cultivated a sanctuary for the lost, the broken, the afraid. They came, one by one, drawn not to a warrior, but to the safety he provided. I became the father I had lost. One morning, I found it at the gate, tarnished and dull, the locket, a silent apology left in the night. I didn't put it on. It was a part of a story that was over. I buried it beneath a young tree, giving the past back to the earth. Months later, an old, frail cat stood at the entrance. Scarred, thin, and beaten by the world, his eyes held no pride, only shame. I didn't snarl. I didn't welcome him. I simply looked at him, and then turned back to my work. The gate was open. The choice was his. Hay entered, and for a long time, we shared the garden in silence. He would sit at the farthest edge, watching. One day, a tiny kitten tumbled near him. He flinched, expecting a hiss. But the kitten just started to purr, and slowly, tentatively, he reached out a paw. One never spoke of the past. There was no need. Instead, we taught the young ones together. He taught them courage. I taught them stillness. We found ourselves on a rooftop once more, not to talk of warrior ancestors, but to simply watch the stars and share peace. The hollow ache was gone. It had been filled, not with vengeance, but with forgiveness. The wound had become the gate through which my true self could emerge. The whispers in the alleys changed. They no longer spoke of a ghost of vengeance, but of a gardener of souls. A legend born not of what he destroyed, but of what he built. Betrayal forged a warrior. The warrior found a master. The master revealed a healer, and the healer broke the cycle.